What's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys. Peep game. All right, man. I want to continue to talk about the Raiders, man. All right, man. I'm just going to be completely honest with you, and I'm going to just tell anybody that's a so-called diehard Raider fan, look, man, if this video bothers you that much and it make you feel some kind of way, maybe you should listen to this video. Because, as I said before, I'm not going to change who I am and change what I do for the sake of anybody. Not going to water down my videos. You don't like the motherfucking video, don't watch it. It's your choice. You know what I'm saying? Like that song by Black Sheep, the choice is yours. Okay, you know what you're getting into. You know, I'm not clickbaiting you. I'm telling you. The title speaks for itself. So if you know you're going to watch a video to get upset, why watch it? Okay? Real talk. Now, with that being said, let me begin. All right, as you guys know, the Raiders are leaving Oakland in the next 2 seasons and headed for Las Vegas. Good luck trying to get into Las Vegas driving on football home game weekend. You're going to be stuck probably by the Prim for at least 2 hours trying to get into the city. Trying to get where the strip is. So good luck with that. Now, the Raiders have been back in Oakland since, I think, 1995. So they've been back in Oakland for 20 years and some change. You know, but if you look at the Raiders since they returned to Oakland, the Raiders have been a disappointment. Ain't nothing special about the Raiders since they've been back to Oakland. So that's another reason why I'm not, you know, all that disappointed about them going, because it's like this. They always let their fans down. They let their fans down this season. They, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you know, Derek Carr, he got hurt. But from what I've seen from David Carr this season, David Carr seemed to regress. I don't think David Carr can win a Super Bowl. I thought he could, but then I had to remember, as I said before, his last name is Carr. I think David Carr is not a long-term solution for the Raiders. I don't know why the Raiders can't seem to possibly find a quarterback. Maybe Derek Carr pick it up next year, but keep in mind, this was year 4. You know what they say, if you ain't picked it up by year 4, you ain't never going to go get it. You know, you're never going to get it. But the Raiders have had a history of underachieving and letting their fans down. This is fact. They've been here for over 20 years, been back in Oakland, and the Raiders only have managed to have 3 winning seasons. And do not tell me about those 3 8-8 seasons that they had. I do not consider 8-8 a winning season. When you lose just as many games as you win, or win just as many games as you lose, that's not a successful season. You just broke even. Basically, you were mediocre. You were average. And that's the only way to put it. To have a winning season, you have to win more games than you lose. It's as simple as that. It's that simple. And the Raiders haven't managed to do that. The Raiders have been a disaster since they returned to Oakland. They've underachieved. They poorly drafted. They went through more coaches than a trick at a whorehouse. You know what I'm saying? That's fact. I cannot keep up with how many fucking coaches the Raiders didn't have since they returned to Oakland. You got to find something strange with that where you didn't have, like, at least you want your coaches to at least stay there, like, a good 5 years. You know? But no. They can't get it done. For whatever reason, Jon Gruden, that's why I'm really just putting it out there about Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden is just living off that Super Bowl. Jon Gruden they trying to put John Gruden in the same category with Bill Walsh. And that's absurd. And that's how they make it look with John Gruden, like he in the same category with Chuck Noll and Bill Walsh and those kind of dudes. And he's not. He's not even Tom Flores. You know, the guy that coached the Raiders to 2 Super Bowls. So he's not even Tom Flores. But they do this. Whatever the case is with the Raiders, they underachieved. And that's a damn shame. It's sad, but it's fact. It's a damn shame. They just underachieved and they continue to let their fans down. You look at that championship game with Baltimore. They lost that game basically on one fluke play because Anthony Dorsett and that other guy missed their assignment. And Shannon Sharp ended up breaking free for a touchdown. I was at that game. I saw it when it first happened. It was a botched assignment. And, you know, that was the, beginning of the end. And it seemed like the Raiders' momentum went away because the Raiders, they couldn't move the ball. They couldn't run the ball. You know, they couldn't do anything against Baltimore. Even though Baltimore considered that year to have one of the best defenses ever, still, you should have found a way to beat Baltimore because Baltimore couldn't score. That Baltimore team went like 6 games without scoring an offensive touchdown. That Baltimore team wasn't even that good on offense. But, hey, I'm just keeping it 100. Then you look at the Tuck Rule game. Okay, I understand that. But there were some games that the Raiders had that they lost where they wouldn't even have to go to Foxborough. Okay? So, once again, they underachieved. There were a couple of games that the Raiders had no business losing in that season where they had to go to Foxborough to play, the Patriots. So, once again, that was to the Raiders' doing. Okay? Now, so John Gruden leaves. Okay, the Raiders go to the Super Bowl with Callahan. Well, I already told you what happened with that. Most people believe that Callahan assisted John Gruden in winning that Super Bowl because he had an issue with Al Davis on how, he treated John Gruden, which, that was your opportunity to win a Super Bowl, and you threw it all out the window. And not to mention, the players hated Callahan, and there were so many incidents where they said in the locker room, some of the players had to be restrained from jumping on him. And if you watch that Super Bowl, a lot of people I know that went to that Super Bowl, said that they saw the players trying to jump on Callahan because they felt he sabotaged them. So, you just look at what did happen with the Raiders. They just underachieved. Like I said, all these coaches, Lane Kiffin, you know what I'm saying? Norv Turner, all those dudes, failures. Then you look at the season, okay, you look at the season where Al Davis passed away. Al Davis, I think, traded for Jason Campbell. And that coon, Hugh Jackson, he wasn't patient with Jason Campbell. He wanted so badly to put that white quarterback in. That fucking coon. Because that's what he was. And most people believe that Jason Campbell should have been allowed to play through his adversities. Because it wasn't like, he was terrible. He was trying to get in the thick of things. And, Hugh Jackson just kept fucking with the lineup. He kept taking Jason Campbell out and putting that white boy in. And that white boy wasn't even that good. It got to the point, okay, well, we had enough of Bruce, whatever his name is, just keep Jason Campbell in. And keep in mind, the Raiders could have went to the playoffs. They finished 8-8. All the Raiders had to do was win one game. The Raiders was in a position where they had to win one game and they could have went to the playoff. But Tim Tebow's Denver Broncos ended up going. They kept saying, put Jason Campbell back in. But Hugh Jackson wanted to go with the white boy. And it backfired on that Uncle Tom coon ass nigga. They ended up losing that Miami game. That Miami game sealed Hugh Jackson's fate. You know, and then they went on to lose to the Chargers, in, if I'm not mistaken, in Oakland, and they was out of the playoffs. They finished 8-8. If they would have beat the if they would have won and beat the Miami Dolphins, and that was a game that, once again, Hugh Jackson wanted to go with the white quarterback instead of the black quarterback. He was hell-bent. He was patient with the white boy, but did Jason Campbell. He didn't want to be patient with Jason Campbell. He just kept pulling Jason Campbell. See, I'm the nigga that's going to call him on that shit. And that's all it come down to. So, like I said, they ended up losing that game. They ended up not making the playoffs. So, and then Hugh Jackson got tossed on his ass by Reggie McKenzie. Now, look what he's doing in Cleveland. They had a terrible season in Cleveland, but he get to come back because he was cool to the shit. But yeah, man, the Raiders just got a long history of underachieving. They have not really done anything since they returned to Oakland. People ain't gonna like this shit, but it's fact. Don't get mad at me, man. I'm just keeping it 100. But anyway, man, I'm out, man.